Hey, how you doing, Jade?
What's going on, brother? How are you, man?
Doing good. Where are you at?
I'm just here in the studio in Reno, enjoying another sunny summer day. The weather's pretty choice right now. I think we've got highs in the upper 80s to lower 90s, so not a bad situation to be in.
Nice.
How about you? Are you still in Louisiana?
Yeah, our weather's a little more hot and super humid. So
of course.
That's fun.
Man, so excited to see you guys back in Reno. September the 14th is the show date. It'll be the second day of the tour with Ghost. Are you apprehensive, nervous? Do you know much about the Ghost camp and their twisted evil ways?
I don't know about the twisted evil ways yet, but I'm about to find out, and I'll report back.
When I was first introduced to Ghost, I was like, this is just way too satanic for me, and then started to get into the sense of humor that exists with the band and the way they carry themselves, and it's really, they come across as kind of just a big joke, making fun out of all the evil bands from the 60s and 70s and 80s, guys like Sabbath, Ozzy and Marilyn Manson and all that stuff. So, from what I understand, it's a huge show. So we're looking forward to the production elements of it. I think last time we caught up, Johnny, you were in Sacramento doing a headline run with Of Mice and Men, Badflower, a couple of other bands opening up. And at that point, I don't think you guys had been out on the road too long with Badflower. You didn't really have a solid relationship, but it looks like eventually you guys had a bit of a love fest. I started seeing the Twitter feeds and the social media blowing up with you guys promoting each other and really enjoying each other's company and what you're about. With both bands writing some pretty heavy, from a lyrical perspective, stuff, would you ever entertain maybe a collaboration with them in the future, or another band perhaps?
It's funny that you brought that up, because I actually was texting back and forth with Josh, the singer, the other day.
Yeah.
I had one night just kind of had some inspiration hit me, and I was like, you know what, Josh would actually be perfect for this kind of an idea, because there's definitely some overlap on some of the themes and thoughts, especially when it comes to the mental health side,
right,
of some of the lyrics and the stories. And I was like, you know what, this would be a really cool collab. So I'm definitely looking forward to something like that on the next album. Probably won't get into it until we're off tour, so I can get them in the studio and stuff. But yeah,
okay,
I'm looking for something like that. We'll see.
Good. Well, you heard it here first. That would be a scoop if it happened. Hey, so what's up with all the photos online from a vocal booth that appears to be at the famed Abbey Road Studios in London?
Yeah. So we when we were just in Europe this last tour, we did some tracking at Abbey Road, and we have a last single off this album we're going to put out. It's Fade In, Fade Out, and so we decided to do like an acoustic Abbey Road exclusive version of it, and that's what we were doing there, and also just kind of experimenting, getting some ideas for the next album. So it was pretty cool, kind of just a magical place to record it and experience.
Yeah, no doubt. Search out your inner John Lennon, perhaps. Who knows?
Exactly.
So when can we expect new music from Nothing More? Obviously, you've when you're not on the road, it seems like you're in the studio. Any guesses on when the next album cycle might get underway?
I don't know exactly. It's going to be in 2020 sometime. I know we're going to need until then to finish a lot of our ideas, but we're going to be recording this whole tour on the road. So most of our tours during the day, we have press and VIP meet and greets, all that kind of stuff. And this tour, we're clearing our schedule, and we're just going to be recording and writing. So it's already underway. We just don't know when we're going to finish yet.
Well, I know you've got a day off after Reno, heading up to Portland, Oregon. So if it's a day off in Reno, maybe we can help provide some inspiration with a backyard unplugged jam or something. Who knows?
Hey, yeah, get a few margaritas in there and get the inspiration flowing.
There you go. So you guys did what's the bass contraption? The Bassinator? I call it the Bassinator. What's it called?
The bass contraption, yeah, we call it the Bassonator. It's our little pet name.
And then the Scorpion Tail, what's up your sleeve to outdo yourselves next, or have you even really given it any thought yet?
Yeah, we have some ideas getting hashed out in the lab, a.k.a. the garage, at the moment, where Dan is trying a bunch of crazy new contraptions. I don't want to say too much.
Right.
But we're going to, in about a month or so, we're going to launch a Patreon account where we're going to give people access to basically the process behind this next album, give you kind of a fly-on-the-wall point of view.
Love it.
And people will get to see some of the experiments that are going on there. But, yeah, he's messing with some robotics and some, I don't want to say too much, but just some crazy stuff.
Okay, well, I know the creativity is there for sure. Are the rest of the guys still in South Texas and San Antonio, and is it just you in Louisiana now, or how's that working out?
Yeah, it's just me in Louisiana, and then Mark and Dan are still in San Antonio, Texas, and our drummer Ben is in Phoenix.
Okay, right.
And yeah, so we kind of come together, work in a rehearsal room, and then we go apart. And it's really cool nowadays how advanced recording technology has gotten, and just in the last few years, it's gotten so easy to create things apart from each other and work on it still together.
Oh, that's great, man. Now, I know you've been obviously a big proponent of mental health with Jenny and now partnered with the Jed Foundation. How's that going, and how can fans get involved if maybe this is their first introduction to Jed, or maybe they have experienced a mental health challenge with themselves or somebody close to them in their immediate family? How can we get involved in that?
I mean, Jed is definitely a great organization. They're a little more aimed towards college-aged young adults, because that statistically is where most mental health problems manifest into something really bad.
Right.
But if you go to Write Love on Our Arms, that's another organization we work with. They're really great because they're kind of like a hub, like a resource to get people connected with counseling or with resources. So that's a great organization to use if you're dealing with something yourself.
And what is that one called again?
To Write Love on Her Arms.
To Write Love on Her Arm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good one. And they also sell a lot of T-shirts and clothing that's really cool, and it all goes to help. So that's a great way to help, because it's a win-win. You get a cool shirt or something fashionable to wear, and you're also helping. So, which is
ironic coming from the dude who never wears a shirt.
It is, sometimes I do. Sometimes I do,
Hey, Jonny, looking back 10 years, is doing what you're doing today better, worse, maybe just different than you expected it being in the touring music business?
Better.
Better, okay. Why is that?
I just think, like I was talking about with recording and stuff,
sure.
Technology has gotten better. We've gotten better. We're in a better place now too, where we can have more control and more freedom with how we create. In some ways, there can be these kind of little political things or behind the scenes business skirmishes that kind of get in the way of the art that are frustrating, but for the most part, though, I would say overall everything's gotten better, and I'd see this next album being better than the last.
Dynamite, man. Now, do you get more enjoyment out of touring and playing in front of an audience for that instant gratification, or hunkering down in the studio?
I personally like a good balance of the two. When I get on the road too long, I start getting burnt out.
Yeah.
But the first 2 or 3 weeks, I'm stoked. And then when I get in the studio for too long, I feel like I start going crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I personally like the studio a lot, because I can work and then sleep in my own bed, and kind of go out for the weekend or whatever. There's a little more of a normalcy when I'm working in the studio. But I don't know, man. They both have pros and cons. I think everything in life is just balanced. Too much of either one is bad.
Yeah, no doubt. And you guys tour quite extensively, man. This has been a long run for this album cycle. So props on your work ethic when it comes to that, man. You guys have done a dynamite job. It's always good to catch up with you, Jonny. Again, we're talking to Jonny from Nothing More. The band is going to be here September the 14th with Ghost. I want to wrap this up by giving props to one band inspiring you today. It seems like you always have your pulse on stuff that might be underground. Perhaps it's an artist that we already know about. But if you were going to give props to one band inspiring you right now, who would it be and why?
I would say a band called Black Peaks.
Black Peeps, like as in the Easter candy?
Peaks with a K at the end.
Oh,
like
peaks.
Like a mountain peak.
Okay.
Yeah, like peaks and valleys. Black Peaks. They're from England. I think they're from... I forgot. Somewhere in England, across the pond, and they have their latest album. God, now that I'm on the spot, I'm forgetting the name of it, but
I can Google it.
Yeah, if you look them up, it'll come up as their latest album. Really good listen through from start to finish, and I find that that's rare when you find those.
Yeah.
With a lot of bands, it's like, well, I like a few of the songs, but the rest of the album, I just kind of like, it's whatever. But with this one, you can listen start to finish, have a real full experience, and a lot of musical ideas.
That's cool. I've really been getting into kind of this UK scene with bands like Don Brocco, and the latest Bring Me the Horizon album I think is pretty spectacular. They're really challenging themselves to step out of the screamo and metalcore thing and do something that's just different, right? They challenge themselves to reinvent themselves, which is cool. And what do you think of the new Tool, man? You've had a chance to hear it, yeah?
I did. It's very, what was it? I don't know, 10,000 Days, Lateralis.
Yeah.
Yeah, it felt right where they left off. It didn't feel like too wild and different, but it also is the Tool that I love. So I was digging it. With them, it's kind of, for me, unless it's like a song like Sober or Eulogy or one of those, it's hard for me to just dig in on one song. I almost need the whole album to just do the full dive,
I hear you. I completely feel the same. There's a lot of people that are panning the new Tool record because of the 2-minute and 15-second long drone at the beginning of it. But once they kick it up, it's a good song. Jonny, I appreciate the time today, man. And yeah, if you guys have some time off after the show here, margaritas and guacamole can always be found at my pad.
We're in, dude. It was great guacamole last time, by the way, which was a while back. It wasn't the last time we saw each other, but I still remember it. I still dream about it.
All right, man. Hey, listen, be careful. Safe travels. We'll see you here in Reno very soon. Pass my best along to Chris, and I love the jump scare videos you guys put out.
Gosh, she's always scaring the bejesus out of me, and nothing's changed. So I can't wait to go on tour just to get away from that.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, brother. Be safe, and tell the rest of the guys I said hi.
All right.
All right. See you, Jonny.
Bye. Bye.